Hey guys, so I'm going to show you this project that we worked on. It was refinishing some maple flooring throughout the whole first floor in this house. Now, some of what you may not see is how worn the floor actually was and how cloudy the finish used to be. Some of that is from the old finish that was on there from 20 years ago. And then they also used a Murphy's soap, which leaves a residue and builds up over time. That's where you want to use a neutral pH cleaner that's specifically designed for wood floors. There's a few that I recommend that are good options that aren't going to leave a residue and are non-toxic and stuff like that. And then the other thing is the kind of sanding imperfections that were in the floor. And by that, and I'll show you, the floor just wasn't quite, the grit sequence, especially on maple, is a little bit different than other ones. And maybe on oaks, you can get away with skipping a grit here or there a little bit more, but on maple, it's really going to show up. How does that impact the floor? Well, I'll show you this picture, and essentially you're walking on more of the high parts of the wood instead of the whole flat part because it wasn't sanded properly. And I'll show you a close-up of what the floor looked like once we were done. So the floor had a couple of interesting things with it. One, like I said, it had a buildup, so it gummed up the paper. We ended up having to start with a 24 grit, which is a really aggressive cut just to remove that old coating, and because it gummed up the paper. The finish was only like 20 years old, but a combination of a cheaper water-based finish that was on there, along with the improper maintenance and cleaning products that were on the floor, led to us starting with more of an aggressive piece of sandpaper. So there was that, which took a little bit to get it down to bare wood. Once we got that down, then there were some spindles and stuff like that we had to work around. It didn't really work for us to remove it. I would have preferred to remove it, but because of how they were installed, it just didn't let us do that without creating more issues and ruining the spindles. So that's just kind of some of what we had to deal with. And then the other part is the layout of the wood was a little bit trickier to coat the floor because you weren't going perpendicular to the wall. So with the wood going on at an angle, then you really had to make sure that you feathered it all up and went out farther past the wall and really kept a really wet edge on that finish just to make sure that it laid down really nice. You can see how this space just turned out great and how seamless it is throughout the house. And it's just this really nice, airy wood floors throughout with the light maple tones throughout. And it goes so much better with the space. just how great that project turned out, and stay tuned for more projects and videos like that.